Hi, I'm Dan and welcome to this week's Elements Developer Diary. Now, I've got a few bits and pieces to cover this week. There's no new features because we're working hard on polishing up what we have to get it shipped to you guys for a beta. And the first thing I want to talk about is the Rapid Weaver icon for Elements. Now, possibly this is the most important thing about the app because it's going to sit in your dock and you want it to look nice. Now, for quite a while, since the beginning of Elements, we kind of played around with different icons and worked with different designers and tried to get something we're happy with. Currently, or previously, we went the route of making the Elements icon similar to the Classic icon because we had Rapid Weaver Classic and Rapid Weaver Elements. And it's becoming clear that Elements is turning into more of a product of its own and not shedding the baggage of Rapid Weaver, but Elements is a very different product and it's kind of starting afresh, and I think it will appeal to a much broader market and we want to give it a fresh face. So currently the Classic icon looks like this. This is the one you know and love. It's kind of a bit more of an old school macOS icon, I'd say. We've tried to make it modern but still give hints to keeping it traditional. Now, the Elements logo currently looks like this, which is very similar to the old icon, the Classic icon, but just kind of modernized a bit. You know, we've got a silver pen, and this kind of stuff references the drag and droppiness of the app. However, it still very much looks like Rapid Weaver, and it's very easy for users to confuse the two icons and not really know that Elements is an all-new app. And that is one thing we really wanted to get across, because Elements is a completely different beast. And if you think you know Rapid Weaver, like if you thought, oh, I looked at Rapid Weaver years ago, it's not really for me, it has to have all these plugins and blah, blah, blah. And then you looked at Elements and the icon, it still looks the same, you'd think it was the same app. And after a lot of discussion about this, we really want to break that tie and really market it to a new audience, like I said before, as well as our existing user base, because you guys obviously know Elements, but we wanted a fresh, new, modern look. So I've worked with, there's a designer called David Lanham, and I've worked with him for years on and off, and we did I don't know, maybe it was 10 years ago, we did a massive project together with Phil Rue as well. We did Hatch for the iPhone, which was a game, and we spent years working on that. But the point is, David Lanham is a very talented artist, and after working with some other people, and we couldn't quite get the Elements icon right, something that I was completely happy with, I went to David and said, you know, we want a new icon for Elements. We don't want it to look like the old one. We want something that is a bit more stylistic, something that is recognizable, more like a brand logo for Elements, rather than the kind of metaphorical pen and paper like an editor. We wanted to make it more abstract. So after quite a few iterations and working through this with David, he came up with a new Elements icon, which I absolutely love, and this is what we'll be using, and I think it looks great in the dock, and and I hope you're going to love it too. It's a big departure. So and people might be like, what? Why are you doing this? This is, but I think in the bigger picture, this will all make sense, and I hope you love it as much as I do. Okay, so here is the new Elements icon with the Elements logo. There you go. Wow. I hope you do like this. I love it, and I think it's a really strong, recognizable mark for Elements. It looks modern, it looks fresh, and it's kind of breaking away from that old traditional look of what people might think of Rapid Weaver previously. And this looks great in the dock as well, looks great at small sizes. We have an outline of this, like a flat logo as well. We've kept the purple kind of colors because that's Rapid Weaver's thing, has been for a long time. So we've kind of kept hues of that. Let me know what you think in the comments. I do hope you like it, and I get that probably some people are going to be like, oh, well, what is it? Not sure. But we've been sitting with this for quite a long time now. We haven't shown you guys or used it, but the test of something that works is if I can still come back to it and I still like it, like weeks and months later. And this is an icon that I've really grown to love, and it just works for me. So here it is in the dock, and you can see it stands out, and I think it looks, but it also fits in nicely, and it looks like an icon you'd like to have in your dock. It's aesthetically pleasing, it fits in, it looks modern. Yeah, it just ticks all the boxes, and hopefully this symbol will become to be recognizable as the Elements logo. So you'll know when you see this is all about Elements. You know, and we've got the old classic icon there. There he is, looking very traditional and old. And there is the new, younger, modern sibling. So that is the new icon. And yeah, I hope you love it. Right, let's turn the hiding off, because now you've seen it, I can leave my dock open. Next up, we're going to look at icons again. So let me launch Elements. And as I said, I don't really have anything new to show you this week, because we're doing a lot of polishing and stuff like that to get it finished for the beta. So at the moment, I mean, and again, this is based on your feedback as well. It's kind of got us to rethink stuff, because one of the issues at the moment, when you create a custom element, which is great, and I can give this a name, my new element, there it is. And if I create another one, they all look the same. And we got talking, well, you guys requested this, and we talked about it internally, and we were saying, well, it's going to be nice to let users update these icons in these components. Now, we wanted to implement this because these components are, while the custom components are in the app, you can also build these bigger components that third parties can build, you know, and we wanted to make sure all of these stayed consistent. And one of the things with modern Mac apps these days is you obviously need to support light and dark mode, and which is also a problem when if you drop pictures into here, you know, you want this stuff to just work. So for these custom components, we thought it's going to be best if we allow people to drop in icons. And the format that's kind of most suitable for this, and something that the macOS docs suggest, are PDFs. So you can drop, developers will be able to drop PDF icons into here, and users, and that will give you custom icons here. Now, we'll have a nice way to do this in the UI. We're just working on that at the moment, so I can't show you that today. But I will show you how we do it for our built-in packs, for our built-in component packs. Now, you'll notice all of these icons are missing, and that is because previously we were using a mixture of ICNS files and PNGs to do all the various sizes and versions of these icons. But because we started talking about using PDF here, we thought we're going to make it the same everywhere. And what we could do is actually just put the icon on top of a background, because previously this was a whole PNG. So I'm now going through updating everything to this new format, which is a bit of a chore, but it has to be done. And, you know, this is things like this. There's so many of these little things that need to be done to actually ship an app to you guys, because on the surface it's like, yeah, this looks fine, let's ship it. You know, you're saying, oh, I want to use it now, but there's just some of this stuff takes time, needs to be done, lots of things like this. So anyway, I'm going to go through and convert one of these icons so you can kind of see how it works. And if you're a third-party developer or you're interested in developing for Elements, this will give you an insight into the structure and kind of the process here. So let me go into the Finder, and I've got my element packs here. So this is a Elements dev pack, as we call them, and these can house any number of the add-ons for Elements. Like they can have components in them and they can have themes. So it's kind of it's not just for the components. You know, we can house a lot of things in here, resources and stuff like that. And that's why we've called them. Well, this is a dev pack because it's in development, but the ones that ship with the app are called element packs. So you can see that's why we've got this little container here with some items in it. So let me show the package contents, and I'm going to go into my components, and let me just check in Elements. We could do one of these that needs doing. Let's do, we could do the grid. So we're going to do the grid icon, which is there. So this is the component. This is what makes up the, when I drop this on, this is the grid here, and this code in here with the templates and the includes and the property files. This is what makes up that little component there. Now, I've got these old files in here, and these are the old icons, and you can see it's got the backing there. And Elements, this build of Elements is ignoring these because they no longer work. So what I'm going to do is we're going to get rid of all these files. Let's have a look. Palette icon, there we are. These ICNS files, we can get rid of those. Let's just delete those. And now let me hop over to Sketch. Now this is my Sketch document for all the kind of packs I was working on, all the icons. And you know, there's a lot of icons here that we've used, and it's a little bit of a mess now because there's stuff we're not shipping yet, and ideas, and yeah, it's a bit of a working document. And now I've got to redo these icons. It gives me a chance to tidy everything up. So what were we doing? We were going to do grid, and my grid is here. So this is my new document that I'm using to keep things super tidy and make sure everything can be exported easily, because this is all a bit of a mess and does not export well. So this is my chance to tidy things up. So I'm going to duplicate this. I'm in Sketch here. Sorry, that's Grid. I should call that Grid. I'm in Sketch here. It's a great app for design. But if you were a developer or even a user creating icons, you can use any app. You can use Pixelmator and export stuff as a PDF with a transparent background, so a little icon, whatever. So it works the same, so you could follow along in your graphics app. But I like using this, and this makes a lot of sense. So I've got the grid here, and let's get the icons, or the bits I need rather for the grid. We'll do these smaller ones first. So I come over to here, and let me just paste those. And I'm using roughly the same template, so they're in the same spot. And what I need to do now, I need to get those dark ones, and we're going to put these into here and get rid of the old, because this is, let me put the base plate on so you can see as well there. I'm going to copy those, or I'm going to move those into the light and get rid of the old container one. So we've done the small, light and dark, and we just need to do the palette icons, which are here. So I'm going to copy the bits I need from my big messy document and go over to my new document. I'm going to paste those in, and let's snap those into the right area. Let's have a look. Yep, about there. And what have we got there? That's the palette dark. So let's drop that into the palette dark, and then I've got these ones, which is the light version. All right, so this is looking pretty good. And I was talking about it being a mess before, like when I have to export these. Because if I go up to export, it does all this stuff, and it's a real mess because it does everything, even stuff I don't need, and the names clash. So when it exports, it doesn't do it properly. But having a redo is my chance to get this all real tidy and exporting nicely. So in the future, when I need to update these icons, it'll make it easier for me. And what I recently learned in Sketch, so if you're a Sketch user, this is pretty handy. I've created a slice here. This dotted line is a slice, like what it's going to export. And you can give it a name and put a / in it, and that will do the folder structure for you. So because we duplicated this from the container, these are all called container at the moment, but I want to call these grid. And here, I'm going to call that one grid. I mean, you can, this might not be particularly interesting to anyone, so you can just skip through this stuff, but this is how I'm setting things up and how we're building elements. Essentially, it's not very exciting stuff. This is kind of day-to-day work, you know. This is what we do when we're not doing these demo videos. We're working on stuff like this. You know, it's just stuff that needs to be done. So all right, so I've renamed these. These are all looking good, I think. Let's just check those. I can see them over here. This is what it's going to export for me. So this slice here is in PDF format at 1x. That's fine. And good. So they are all looking good. So now if I go export, it should give me all of these, including the let's check them all. Yeah, including the grid items. And you can see it's named them all nicely. Container, button, grid, flex. Perfect. I click export, and let's do it on here. And I say, let's put this in icons. And yep, it's done it already. So let's have a look at these. I've copied in my button images, and I've done the container, and we've got the flex. You can see those in there. And we just need to copy in these grid ones. So if I go to grid, and you can see there they are. They're just transparent. They should be transparent. Yeah, I think it's just the way Preview's doing it there. Because these are named correctly, these are the names elements are looking for: icon-dark, icon, and palette icon. Palette icon is this one, and the square one here is just icon. So let's go back here. Let's just drop these into my grid element. There we go. And now if I just refresh this view, there we've got the grid icon. There we go, and it's updated. Now I just need to go through and do that for the rest of these icons. But once I have all this set up, it'll make it really easy for me to, you know, if I wanted to make changes to this, really easy just to go up and say export, boom, and it'll export all those, and I can just drop them in. So that's how to how you'll organize things when you're building components, or how we are doing it, and how third-party developers might. But in the app, we'll have a way to just drop in those icons, you know, and you won't need to worry about the files in the background. If you're just building these custom components, you can do it that way. You'll be able to do it in app. You won't have to go into the file system. But for developers and people making bigger components, and you want the full power of stuff, then you'll do that. You'll do that in here, in this file format. So yeah, so I've got some more icons to do because we need those done before we ship the beta to you guys. So all right, that's it for today. It was just we're working on a lot of other things, and you know, they're not ready to show off yet, but over the coming weeks everything's getting polished up, and this will be a lot more finished off and ready for the beta. All right, thanks for watching this video. If you have any comments or feedback on anything that I've talked about today, leave a comment below on the forum. Alrighty, thanks a lot for watching as always, and I'll catch you next week. Cheers, bye.